Hello there, my fellow Jeffs, and today I will be reviewing my most recent performance in the GeoGuessr World League against Finbarr. I'll also talk about my more recent results as well and where I currently rank in the World League. And yeah, this was a huge match since we were only 3 points difference and he also had like 3 or 4 games in hand. So for me, it was really a must win. So yeah, let's begin and start with the first game, the moving. So round one, we have the Chimborazo mountain or volcano. I was quite nervous. He did send incredibly quickly, and you could probably make out the first 2 or 3 rounds. I was a bit nervous. It took me a while to kind of really get going, but a really nice 5k there from Finbarr. Very well played there from him. So yeah, round two, we're in Colombia. So there's two strategies for me with Colombia usually. I don't want to specify all my strategies, of course, but usually Colombia, you try and find a taxi with the place name. You can try and find signs that can give you the provinces or city, but sometimes you can use like paint or plates on poles that can give away the region or the province you're in or state or whatever you call it in Colombia. So right now I saw black numbers with letters, and from my experience, that is quite common for Santander, the province. But there are exceptions, I believe. And in the moment, I wasn't sure if it was North Santander, so I kind of hedged north of normal Santander just in case. But I sent it early because I liked the landscape. It felt northern, so I put the pressure on Finbar, and he did manage to find a sign that said Santander, and so that was good for him to find. And he hedged a bit more inside Santander, unless there was a place name that made him go the specific place. I didn't really check, but it was obviously a much better hedge because he was a lot more confident it was Santander because I was still worried about muddling paint poles up. Okay, so Finbar locked in quite quickly here, which was interesting. I don't know how much, how if if Finn can retire or not. I managed to check past games of his to see that. Um, but for me, there was this box, and I believe it said BUR or BRR, which helped me confirm Buriram province. So that is how I got this. It was right on the edge of the province, which was quite unfortunate, but still closer. But a better round for me, and now we're both level once again. Like I say, round four was quite an awkward one. We had 23 blue kite. It felt quite South Australia had the possum guards for Tasmania, so like Tasmania was a given. It was just trying to find that information, and there was no information where I was zooming in there, so I wasted a lot of time looking at that. I also thought that white thing on the wooden thing could have been a sign or something with info. Finn found something that said Hogarth Falls, but yeah, I mean, makes sense to be in a port, but I thought it was just going to be a lake. So yeah, Finn gonna be close there. Better guess really than mine, I would say. So far, Finn definitely deserving the lead right now. This one again, it's another Ecuador incident where, I mean, I've seen the Chimborazo volcano or mountain, whatever, before. And it was just more of like a time pressure issue, whereas this, I did have a west vibe similar to Finn, but I got confused where this mountain would be. I decided to keep moving to find something that can give me the province, give me some more information. Finn gave it a bit of time to scan, but was more looking around Guayaquil, it looks like. And yeah, so a lot of this I definitely wasted time by just moving, whereas Finn spent a lot of time scanning and moving slowly. I was holding the spacebar, I believe. So yeah, I mean my guess wasn't great. I don't know why I moved central. I think I was just that confused why I didn't see the mountains, the mountain range, or the mountain itself confused me. So this round is quite meme worthy. I mean Madagascar. I don't know if I've seen this come up yet in the World League at all, but now it has. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't remember which one this was. So I knew it was one of the coastal ones. So you will find out shortly what happened here if you don't know the results of the game before this recording. So yeah, I mean we're both trying to find info. I don't know if Finn found some info or he just made a guess of where he thought it was. But yeah, I was thinking Ambanja, I was thinking Morodava, and I was thinking Toliara. So I didn't like Abanja, so I was split between the two. And what Finn did right is he scanned and checked, and that definitely made the difference. And Madagascar has very limited coverage, so like to lose that much damage on Madagascar is kind of unacceptable at the pro standard. I'm going to be honest, I got away with that one against Finn. Like there's like one tiny bit in Toliara, which is what I was debating, which kind of looks similar. And then you have a bit here which looks different. You have Morondava, which is a bit more on the main road, and I think we've got this worse Wally Don as well, to be fair, Chris Kamara. So yeah, I mean, makes more sense to be here. Then we've got like Ambanja, then there's a few other places as well. So yeah, I can't afford to be losing almost the entire game on a Madagascar round. That should not happen. And with the limited coverage, I should learn it or recap it. I have learned it before, but I need to recap it and yeah, make sure that doesn't become an issue in the future. But there are so many extreme rare scenarios of certain trekkers that come up where you just never get to it sometimes, and that's kind of what happened with Madagascar in my training. But I'll make sure I'll be on top of it for future weeks. So yeah, very nice guess from Finn there, and deservedly takes a lot of damage off me. And Finn playing very well in this game. You know, he hasn't really put a foot wrong. He's been consistent, which obviously after the Madagascar round, I have not been. Um, but this round, I could have sent early. I thought it was East Ukraine straight away, but East Ukraine's still big, and I'm only on 900 and an area code or an address. What Finn saw, which says Kharkiv at the first letter. So you got the KH with the X, ARKI, and then the B is a V. So Kharkiv. So he's got Kharkiv there. It did take him a few moments to realize it says Kharkiv. And I found an area code that confirmed Kharkiv, which is 057. The Deborah game had one as well that I blundered and sent Summy. And I also found the sign as well that confirmed it too. Oh, shout out Rome, by the way. That's quite funny. But yep. Next round was Indonesia. So here, we might have gone different ways, which is always an issue with moving duels, but a lot of these moving duels is designed to go the right way, and in this situation, probably both ways are the right way. It's just I found probably info quicker than he did. Well, I did, and that's what made the difference. But immediately, I see this chili pull, which confirmed it's most likely going to be in West Java or Banten. So I could rule out Central and East Java pretty much straight away. And then I saw this and saw the cow pattern, and if you can't read it, it says Tangerang, and Tangerang is pretty much right next to Jakarta. So I didn't really give it much time, just sent as quickly as I could. And Finn had lots of information and in front of him, but I don't think any of that information was valuable. So you wasted a lot of time checking that information, and that's the brutal side of Indonesia is if you don't find that cow pattern straight away and you got information and the opponent has sent, then you could be in big trouble. But he still made a nice guess. He still went West Java, which was pretty nice guess without the info. So credit to him there. Um, but yeah, right now the scoreline is not far away. I mean, yes, I'm one half bad round away from losing the entire game, or one really good round from Finn to lose the game. So I was hoping that we'll get a big country towards the end, so I can be more, I can have a much more of a chance to take the win. If we get two small countries, it's gonna be GG's Bezo because like I Finbarr is one of the most experienced players out there in this league, and yeah, I needed something big to come back into this, even after that big round in Indonesia. So what did we get? We got Canada, and it was Northern Canada. And one thing I was doing in preparation for my game against Foul is I was learning Canada roads. I was learning Northern Canada roads, learning the latest coverage, all the comments, all that stuff, the landscapes, everything. So this, I would not have immediately known it was this road without that learning. So my thought process in this round was okay, it feels northern. We've got very wide sandy sand like on the outskirts of the main road. The road quality was very poor, but the extreme sand with the Gen 2 reminded me of a specific stretch in Manitoba. So this was all in my spare time. So I labeled what all the Generation 2 was for the oldest coverage. And as you can see, there's a lot around Grand Rapids. And you can see there's a lot of wide sand, but that doesn't mean you get wide sand in the other ones. You do have to vibe it out. Like if I click Yellowknife, let's compare it. I mean, this is not as sandy, but it could get very sandy in certain areas. Yes, so like I was debating that, and also it's a very big stretch. Like none of this has been overwritten, so all this is latest coverage. So if it's panel ID, then of course there's more roads. But these other roads look different. Like for example, here it's a gravel road. Like there isn't many roads left in Manitoba. That's a main road in Generation 2. So that was my immediate thought. Was this pocket here? So this round really did suit my studying that I did for foul. And yeah, so that was in the back of my mind. So that was what I thought immediately. And I could have sent straight away, but I noticed as we play this that there was a billboard or a sign on the side of the road, and sometimes it tells you the place or like the lake you're nearby. And it says Grand Rapids, which rung a bell, and it might have rung a bell because of Grand Rapids in Michigan, but it also kind of rung a bell from playing Canada in preparation for the foul game. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go where I think first and just see if this comes up. So that's what I did, and I zoomed in one or two levels, I found it straight away, and put the pressure on. And this is exactly why I tried to learn the Northern Canada roads, is because I've seen a lot of games in Canada end in this way, and I wanted to make sure I was prepared in the future, especially when I was preparing against foul, that I know which road it is, rather than have this dilemma where I'm on a 50-50 between two different roads in completely different parts of Canada, Northern Canada, because with the multis and the distance in general is that big at times, you might as well. I thought I might as well try and learn if I've got the time. So I put the pressure on Finn. He was thinking Yellowknife. He was debating Manny. I don't know his full perspective, so you could probably check out his video when he releases it. But yeah, I'm a bit happy, Jeff, about that one. So yeah, that was a really nice guess. Took the dub, 1-0 up, and yeah, as a whole, that moving game, was it controlled? No. Could have definitely have performed better. The Madagascar was, in my opinion, unacceptable. Like I should really be knowing that, and as much as it's a bit annoying that it's on the World League map, it's just that incredibly rare Madagascar to get. Like you could learn every single square space of Madagascar and spend 3 or 4 hours, and a whole day doing it, and then it just never comes up. Whereas like with a big country, it'll come up a lot more often. So it's where your priorities lie, but at the same time, with the limited coverage Madagascar has, yeah, I should have done better there. But other than that, the early rounds I feel like was partly because of nerves, and the other Ecuador round I should have done better on. But like I said, the build up for this game was massive. Like both me and Finn know how important this game was for that battle for that top eight, top six kind of positions. So now we're 1-0 up, and we start off with this first round. So I think both my thought process was I thought it was Finland, but something fell off. Um, and I think Finbarr was debating quite a few countries as well. And I was trying to find poles or houses, and here you can see Finn's also was in Estonia before me. But I saw this metal roof house and maybe some white brick. I could not tell, but that made me think Estonia is very valid here, and it makes sense for Winter Estonia 23. So I liked it, and I put a marker there. And like both of us are there right now, but I believe Finn played it safe, which is fair. Like it is round one, you don't, it's not the end of the world if it's a bit off. But when I'm got a vibe, I usually stick with it. I usually try and send a country unless I'm absolutely clueless. It paid off there. And this was a tough round. I'm gonna be honest. I'm curious what the Indonesia pros think of this round. Because my first thought was like North Sulawesi, but it felt off, like the vegetation seemed off, it felt a bit flat and not really right. Then Java came to mind, which I thought was possible, but it felt too. Something felt off about Java. Again, vegetation. But now I wrote Java is a fair option too. Then I also debated if it was just a wet season in the Noosa somewhere, or wet season in like South Sulla somewhere, or Southeast Central Sulla. It was a very tricky round. Yes, if it was probably any round in this match to hedge, it was probably this one, which I kind of did by going Noosas, but I was really tempted to go Sulla because that was my initial first reaction. But it didn't matter, I still got closer, but yeah, I mean, I've never seen Southeast Sulla be that green before, so that was interesting. This round was interesting because I feel like I've been here before, and I have been very near here before. So we had Welsh here. You can't really read it on the screen, but we had Welsh, which is a good way to confirm Wales. I had a look around at the mountains and see if because I could say it felt familiar. It felt really familiar, and this hill. I feel like I've seen the other side of it because I've been to Wales a lot. During my childhood, I've also been on this coastline. Ended up being on like a year ago. So yeah, I was quite. Once I realised, I was like, yeah, it makes sense. Is it Llandudno's hill? Nope, it's not distinctive enough. Okay, wait, it could be that hill where I was, went on to Abergele a year ago. So I moved to Old Colwyn, and it was there. But also shout out Finbarr for getting really nice guest too. So we both were on it. But yeah, almost an IRL repeat there. Not gonna lie. This round. I should have been a lot more confident with my thought process, I would say. So I ruled out Spain, I debated Greece, but then I thought it could be Italy. And I was like, if it's Italy, it's most likely going to be Sicily. And if it is Greece, then I have to be careful because it doesn't look like an obvious Greece. So I either go like more towards Cosenza on the peninsula before Sicily, or I go Sicily. And what I should have done here is I should have sent my gut and stuck with Italy and sent Sicily, but instead I like almost hedged, which was not the best move. I should have just gone where I thought, and Finbarr had a very nice guest there in Sicily and deserves to take the lead. Like I say, bad thought process there. Should have just committed Sicily there. But this round, we'll go back. Well, we have here, we've got a Kanto pole top, so electricity companies in Japan differ for different regions in Japan. So for here, this confirmed Kanto, which includes Tokyo, Saitama, Tochigi, Ibaraki, Yamanashi, some bits of Shizuoka have it too. So we both know it's in that area. But hilly Japan, forested Japan, this is really hard to region guess. So we both had to make a decision of where to go, and I feel like we both kind of hedged. the west side where the hills are mostly. I didn't really like a Tochigi or Gunma but I kind of went there a little bit. But yeah, it ended up being more towards Yamanashi Shizuoka and Finbarr with a slight better guess there. And like I say, so far, Finn been making some good decisions. Like the sister was a very nice decision, but this round was the decider. So let me just pause it straight away. So okay, let's wait until it's not blurry. So yeah, so this round was really difficult at first glance because it was a concrete kind of road, which reminds you of the Philippines, but we had no car. It was very green lush. The hills reminded me more of mainland, Southeast Asia, I would say, like, like your Myanmar's, your, like, I didn't even bring up Thailand, but I thought like more towards Malaysia made more sense at first with the landscape vegetation, but it wasn't Malaysia because the concrete road was wrong. I also noticed the 21 copyright, which should rule out Philippines. I'm fairly sure the first Philippines coverage was 22. If it is 21, it's extremely rare. Also, the fact we had no cow was extremely weird too. And I didn't like Taiwan, so my option was like I don't like Indonesia. Vegetation feels wrong. Malaysia, the road feels wrong, and I spent a lot of this time trying to think where in Malaysia could make sense. If not, what other country could it be? And I think Finn spent a lot of time thinking, looking around, checking for anything, checking. He probably checked the copyright of the cars too. Like I say, you can watch his video for his perspective. But yeah, I was in Malaysia at first because I thought more of the like mainland part. I didn't really like Indonesia. I didn't like Philippines. Well, Philippines, by rule of thumb, shouldn't be. And Taiwan, I debated, but I thought the vegetation was wrong as well. So I was in a situation where I just didn't bring up Thailand. And Thailand can have concrete roads, which made sense, and these hills definitely made sense towards the Myanmar border, especially, or Burma border, or whatever. But yeah, I did switch towards the last second, which was huge because that helped me win the game. But there is a but. That took me way too long to realize that was Thailand. And if Finn realized it was Thailand that round, and I feel like he would have definitely gone north. So although this is a great last minute decision, last second decision that won me the game, I feel like in other instances I could lose from this position because although I got talent correct, I'm still pretty far. And where I guessed after the time ran out, I wanted to go more north because of the landscape. But because I realized I didn't bring up Thailand and Thailand made sense, I just had to put a Thailand marker somewhere. I didn't think we're in Thailand in the last 3 seconds. So on another day, I could have lost that game or got my health to a very low point where it would have been hard to come back. So yeah, that was the game. Very back and forth. Very, I started off slow in the moving, made that, had that issue with Madagascar. That shouldn't, that is something I need to sort out in my own game. But I did keep myself mentally locked in, which is the most important thing. Did good on the Indonesia, took some damage back, and then the Canada. It was nice that a road I've learnt came up, and also to confirm it quickly was nice too, and that was nice to win it in that way. So it was nice to have that practice I was doing for foul to have an impact on one of my other games, which ended up being this game, and to win it. So yeah, it's nice that the practice paid off there. But the second game, the no moving, I had a decent guess. Finbarr had a decent guess, but it was this round that decided it all, and yeah, we'll take it. And that was the result. Chris Kamara, a good win, a huge win, and honestly, I needed to win this game. I had to win this really. Like, for me to be up there in the top seven, top eight, you will see the leaderboard shortly. I had to because the other games I can't control. If all the other players that I'm competing against win all the games, I'm going to really struggle because they played less games than me, and if they've overtook me and they still got games to play, then that's an issue. So yeah, this was a must win. and it was nice to take the 3 points against a very strong, talented, and experienced player. Yeah, I wish him the best of luck. He's a good friend of mine, and I hope he bounces back next week. I want to see him do well, despite us competing against each other. I still want him to do well. He's had a bit of on and off recently, and I hope he comes back strong after this week because I think he also lost a Kratzo as well. So yeah, I want him to do well too. So yeah, not really much else to say there. GG's to Finn. It was great playing you. Um, and yeah, so the standings are here. So currently I am sixth position. So I've dropped one place, maybe from the last video, but that's mostly because Moo's caught up with the games in hand and is now in that fifth place. And it is quite interesting because I've got a game in hand to try and catch up to Moo by 4 points. So that can put some pressure on. Trying to get top five, that would be crazy. And I think MK's had a bit of a dip as well, but I don't know, man. I feel like everyone has the on and offs. You can't win every game, and I could all of a sudden lose quite a few games. So anything is possible. And of course, you've got Debray, who's tied level with me. And if you're wondering why I'm ahead of Debray, it's because I think I beat him head to head, and head to head goes first. And that's the good thing as well about beating most of these people in this top 10, especially, is if it's a tied on points, I should be ahead of them. I think according to the rule book. So if it does come down to that, that is a great thing to have. So the win's almost like 4 points. If we tie, then I win by head to head. So it's very important. So right now we've got Debra in the same points. He's got 3 games in hand. I mean, you'd expect Debray to probably overtake with the 3 games in hand, but you don't know who he's playing against. Like we don't know, all the remaining fixtures from all these players. But one thing I know is there's not many people left in this top 12 that I haven't played. There's still a lot of games to go. Like I've still got 9 games to go. We don't know what's going to happen. So right now I'm six. That's the most important thing. Zigzag is 2 points behind me with a game in hand, so we're quite similar in points, I would say, like 2 to 3 points. 2 or 3 point wins means it's very tight, and like I say, it depends on the fixtures and how you do in those future results, of course. So yeah, Lero's doing really well. He's flying up the leaderboard, and Finbarr had an off week this week. Unfortunately, I think he was quite unlucky. Just very bad timing in the game against me. But I'm sure he'll be still up there battling it out. Like he's, got 3 games in hand of me, and he can still definitely catch me. Like 3-2-0, if he wins all his games 2-1, he's on the same points as me. And with an extra 3-0, he's ahead of me. So you know, it's very tight. Captain's climbing up too. But there were some points dropped today. I think Streffen had some points dropped. He had a tough fixture day. Same with I think Captain lost one of the games, and Finbarr as well. And then I'm not sure about the other games, but as a whole, I'm just happy I'm up there. Like I can't control what the other people do. I just have to focus on my own game. And yeah, I'm just happy I'm six. But right now, it's starting to get tight. But also, I feel like I'm not chasing. Like when I was playing Finn, it felt like I had to win it. I had to win this game. Whereas now, I could have a slight off week and still be in the mix. Whereas in this Finn game, I couldn't have an off week because I could be trailing a fair bit or have to win a lot more games to have a chance of getting into that top eight. And right now, it's interesting. We'll see. I think the main goal for me is to get that top eight, but preferably seventh or sixth would be a lot more convenient. If opportunities arise to finish higher, then great, but that's out of my control. I've got 9 games left, and who I've got to play in the coming weeks? Well, let's find out. So we got Oceanman this Sunday, so stay tuned for that. Big game. Oceanman's quite a unique style player, underrated in my opinion. Had a very good start. He's kind of dropped off a little bit in performances, but I'm not letting that slide past me. I know how talented that guy is. His place knowledge in US, for example, is just second to none. Like nobody wants to be facing against Oceanman on US with information. So even with the area code knowledge, he's much he's just a lot better. So we'll see how that goes. Then the week after, I've got Zigzag and Karania, which is a huge week. Like also an early get up, which the early get ups are usually the worst and more stressful ones because I have a different daily routine for the morning ones and make sure I'm early up early enough. But I really need to be on it on that because Zigzag is right up there in the league. Like I say, there's only a 2 points difference right now. He has a game in hand, so it's pretty much level if he wins that game in hand. So yeah, it's a very very important game. But all these are important games. Like Karani is going to be a very tough game. Yes, Karani might be low in the league this season, but he is the APAC champ for crying out loud. Like I feel like his position doesn't justify how good he is. He's a lot better than that on paper, and I do need to show up for all these games because all these guys are just really strong, and I just have to play my game and do the best I can. And there are other games I've yet to play. I think I still yet to play Sheena, Fly Me, then Radu, of course, towards the end, Saju, Kratso. There's quite a few. So it's like it might look more favouring compared to other people's fixtures, but I'm gonna be honest, it isn't. Like all these players, they've still got something to fight for. All of them, they're fighting for the regionals, they're fighting for the top 8 or the top whatever, and I have to be on it, and I have to beat my best as much as I can, and if not, I need to find a way to win. So we'll see how that goes, but ever since the Blinky and foul game, I did lose against Skill Issue. It was my worst performance in the entire league. Like I played terrible that game, but it happens to us all. We can't always play well. But I had a huge win against Lenley, who was pretty much competing for points at the same time. He's still up. He's still in the positions. Like if I show you the overall leaderboard, Lenley is still in the mix of it all. Like real life, you got Trickter, Lenley, Streffen, who could definitely fall into this bracket if they go on a good run. So yeah, don't never count those people out either. So it is a massive. It's going to get very tight at the end. I have a feeling. So just got to get as many points as possible. But if I show you my fixtures again that I've played, so I beat Lenley, I beat Armani 2-0, then I beat Pan 2-1, Kent 2-0. I lost to Amon 2-1. Amon played well that game. I made too many mistakes, I would say as well, but he definitely deserved to win that. And I beat Leroy in a very close game too. And then I've beaten Finbarr this Sunday. So 9 games to go. And yeah, Ocean Man this Sunday, gonna be a tough one. I will be preparing the best I can, and thank you all for the support and all the help that you've all been offering. Like you guys know who you are, who have been helping me out, whether it's direction or playing or getting better at certain things. Thank you so much. Still got a long way to go though. We've still got a month and a bit of this competition, this World League going on before the regionals start taking over. But I'm doing my best. I'm putting all my effort in. This is the main thing I'm doing right now, and I hope you all appreciate it. And I'm making the most out of my opportunity. And we'll see how it goes. If what will be, and all I can do is do the best I can, and hopefully it pays off. So yeah, uh, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, of course.